And we're live, bro.
Yo,
How goes it, everybody? Thanks for joining Not Another Bitcoin podcast.
what's up, y'all?
We were supposed to have a guest today. Shout out to Noble over there at Brand Royalty. Hopefully he reschedules. But I guess today we're just going to riff it.
Yeah, we're just gonna shoot the shit, as they say.
I guess, as of today, the water cooler talk is Uniswap. Uniswap and the SEC are ready to fight. That's what's happening. I saw that this morning or this afternoon. I was like, okay, that's going to be an interesting one. I definitely have my own opinions on this and things like it moving forward. Miggy, I'm just curious, what are your initial thoughts on Uniswap and the SEC?
Uh, I mean, honestly, I feel like no matter what, it's a matter of time that every major brand is gonna have to have their own dealings when it comes to SEC stuff. Just because, there is a procedure of becoming legitimate as far as what, these financial laws that are in place, have everything going. So I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing. Hopefully, it's nothing major that goes on, and it's something that they can deal with quickly and not have too much to trouble with because it doesn't seem like the SEC necessarily wants to shut everything down. I just think they're just like everyone else, they're trying to figure shit out, and so I think it's up to us to really kind of help them. So we need places like that to kind of be involved because they're major representatives of Web3 for sure.
Yeah, I think they're going to take what they learned with crypto and apply it to AI because, they're just playing catch up with crypto. And I think they're going to have to try to predict where the puck's going with AI. So you're not going to be able to play catch up with AI when it comes to these regulations and stuff. And a lot of these crypto projects are incorporating AI into things. It's going to be real funny when, the SEC hits you with a subpoena. They try to get you to show up to court and they wheel in like a server because the server is like the CEO of the project. You know what I mean? It's like AI. Now like AI is on the stand testifying to a trial. And like, if it is AI, like what's a trial of peers? You got like 12 different AIs in the jury listening to this AI like plead its case to the courtroom. Yeah, I think they're gonna have to take what they've learned by waiting too long for involving themselves in the crypto space. They're going to have to preemptively take moves when it comes to the AI stuff in finance. But again, to touch on the trial of peers, to be the SEC and to be suing Uniswap, they have zero clue what they're even talking about. You know what I mean? It's like you're in trouble, but they don't even know why you're in trouble. They can't. It's like show your work. You know what I mean? So I think having a trial of peers, especially in this space, this industry, you can't just have 12 random fucks off the street be in the courtroom deciding the outcome of this. I think they're going to have to take into consideration IQ, the capability of intelligence. Like, what's your intellectual capability? How much do you know about this topic? Then you can be considered a peer. Because to just grab 12 no coiners off the street and throw them into a courtroom and say, here, you judge Uniswap, it's not going to work out, dude.
Right. And I think honestly with what they're trying to pin them with, I think this is something that is probably good to bring light to. Because it looks like they're looking to charge them for acting as a security exchange, and so and like a broker and I think if they can come out of this, on top, that'll kind of set more of a precedent on what, is deemed like financial tokens and stuff like that, security tokens, what are deemed securities or
Everything. They
brokers.
want
Yeah,
everything to be a security because
what's a
that's their
security,
bread and
what's a
butter.
security exchange? Yeah, so if Uniswap comes out of this and they're like, hey, you know what, we won, and they're not considered all these things, and that's going to set a big precedent for the other
That's why
other
they can't
swaps and
let
things
that
like that
happen.
too.
That's why they can't let that happen. Right
Yeah.
there. That's a
So
leak in their
that's pretty
ship.
big.
It makes the
Yep.
SEC irrelevant in 20 years.
Yeah, because if they let them, pass, then there's a whole bunch
One
of things
smart
affecting
contract
them that.
replaces the SEC, dude. Oh, you have to go through this like that's the whole entire building and every employee in it, bro, can be replaced with one smart contract.
Yeah, so I think it's exciting at least to say that it sucks that they're having to deal with this, and it's kind of negatively impacting their
Oh, we got our
token,
guest. What up,
but
bro?
but yeah, I think if they can come out on top of this, then it'll help set some basis for what is a securities exchange, what's a broker, and what's not. So, hey, what's up?
It looks like Noble's trying to jump in. I guess one last thing on the
Awesome.
Uniswap SEC while he's setting that up. Check out the brand royalty while the guest sets up his camera. And Mike, they're only down like 10%. Dude, could you imagine being like a company traded on the stock market and the SEC is like looking at you? You know, like, dude, your stock's dead, bro. 10% for Uniswap? I would imagine more of an impact.
Right.
The SEC don't scare nobody. It's like the Degens just don't care what the SEC has to say, and even the outcome probably won't matter either. Didn't matter for Napster. Our generation don't care.
Yeah, exactly. And this might just be a, token grab. Maybe they just want to
Oh
dump the
yeah, they
price so
just
they can
wanted.
buy
No,
some of
yeah,
it.
they just want to dip. They caused the SEC caused the dip. That's it. They just wanted to buy
Yeah,
the dip. They
they're
caused
like,
it.
we're buying that token, so
Hey,
I could
bro, you
totally see
there?
that.
Yes, I'm here, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Happy you
Yes,
could
what's
join
going
us.
on?
Yeah, so sorry. I'm hanging out with the family and they hijacked me for a second. So you give me a minute, I'll get a little bit better place.
Oh yeah, absolutely, no rush, man. We're just
And
going
then
through a
I'll be
couple
all
of
right.
the water cooler topics of the day. So yeah, take your time
Nice.
and hop in with the video and camera when you're ready.
Yeah, just give me a few more minutes. Thank you, guys.
No problem, man. So we got let's see, what's another one? Cardano's down today. Why Solana? Oh, dude, we could talk about Solana and their congestion. Holy crap, bro! I haven't been
Yeah,
able to use
that's been
Solana since
hurting
New
me right
York
now.
at all. I haven't been
Same.
able to use it. Why are they calling it congested? Why not just say it's down, bro?
I mean, I think, well, I guess if it's, a specific reason, then I would say it's because maybe the term congestion means that there's just a lot of more people using it than they thought the network could handle.
Bro, that's like saying your
And
ship didn't sink because the water wasn't deep enough.
so it could be, at least it's a good thing that maybe there's a lot of people using it and, showing these vulnerabilities, because these are the kind of things they're going to have to fix for scaling, if they're going to be like a global thing, that they're going to be able to handle these types of things and not have this type of congestion. Because yeah, it's been hurting me too, man. Like, I have some
It's
Solana
down
that
over 20% since New York. It's one of the only coins that hasn't had a positive impact since NFT NYC, or at least a stable one. Like, what the? Oh, dude. I feel like it's like a horse with a
yeah.
broken leg. Either we put Solana out of its misery or we find a way to, like, bionic man it. We have
I
the
was
money.
just
We
about
have
to
the power.
say,
We can make
yeah,
it
I was
better.
about to
We
say
can
the
build it.
six
We
million
can fix
dollar
it.
horse.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
The
what we're
$6
doing.
billion fucking blockchain.
Yep, and it'll, I think it'll pay off. But I think, it's still a relatively young blockchain, as
I
in
just don't
terms
like
of
the
its
term they're
usage.
using. Don't call it congested. It's not congested.
Yeah,
This is basically as down can get.
right. No, for sure. I mean, it is down. Maybe
Well,
just
you know
say
what the
error
positive is.
4404.
I didn't get hit with crazy like transaction fees like on Ethereum. Like if
Yeah.
this was happening on Ethereum, just finding out that there's a congestion can cost more than what you wanted to send to find out, right? Like you get hit with a crazy gas fee, you don't look, you just hit confirm, and right as your thumb hits that second, you're like, oh wait, what was that gas fee again? Solana, I will give
Right.
it that. I can keep trying to send transactions. I can afford to do that on Solana. Wouldn't risk trying that on Ethereum. If I was going to pay that gas fee and it was going to get like canceled and I just have to pay it again, I'm good.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So I'll give them that.
The gas fee thing, like, is definitely. I don't think. I mean, it'll never be
They're
avoided,
still
but
ranked number one by weekly transactional volume by DApp Radar. So I mean, how the hell are they congested and still? It's down forty
Listen,
percent, but it's still up.
that's
listen,
funny.
just don't sweat it, man. Look, I've been a trader for 30 years, guys, and when I hear what's going on with Solana, it just makes me smile. I just buy the dip. Like this is
Nice.
not. Ever since I looked at Solana, I realized it was an Ethereum killer, and bit by bit has proven that Ethereum's done. Right, Ethereum is not going to build on the main chain anymore. They're focusing on layer one, layer two, layer three solutions, and they're making themselves faster for that. Solana is kind of where it's at, and so
Yep.
don't yeah, it sucks, but you can't let the short term be the long term outlook. That's
No,
all.
I love that you played the devil's advocate because that's basically what I was doing, talking shit. Like, I'm all in on Solana, but I can't just be the fanboy. I got to be like tough love sometimes. But I just told my team, because we get paid every week, and they're like, yo, we're going to have to pay out in Ethereum because Solana. I'm like, no, 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 you can hold on to my pay. I'll wait for the Solana because it's going to dip, and I'm just going to get paid more Sol tokens than I
Exactly.
would. Like, yeah, I'm on the same page as you, bro.
No, no. Listen, it's hard. It's hard, right? And it hurts because I bought a bag at like, it was a nice bag at around 178, 179, and then it was playing and flirting with 200, and I'm thinking, okay, this is a breakout moment, and I'm thinking the new range would be 200, 250. So trust me, I'm with you in the
Yeah.
disappointment, but the idea is okay. Well, some things you dollar cost average, right? So this is one where it's worth doing a DCA buying some more in, or like you said, getting paid in it. I just told a couple of clients who hired me for consulting. I said, okay, just pay me in Solana, right? So just make up the difference at the
Yeah.
moment, and just call it a day. But these things happen. I remember when I bought twice. I bought it in Ethereum once at like 237 and once at 335, and everyone's like, "Oh man, this is not going to run." And immediately hit 1500 and stayed, and I'm like, okay, it's going to go to 4. And sure enough, during the
Yeah.
last bull run, it broke 4. And I called everybody. I said, cash out, cash out, cash out. No one listened to me. And I cashed out. And now it's
Respect.
back at 4. But I mean, now it's back at 4, right? So, I mean, it's just like, 3,500, 3,600. There's a long road to go because I really believe same thing. Ethereum has the potential for 10. But, it is what it is. You just kind of ride the edge of flows. And, when it's getting the road stuff, you just kind of chill and just, look at something else. Stop staring at the screen.
Yeah, go touch some grass. You know what? It's
real-
funny. Oh, go ahead, Mickey.
Sorry. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, but I was thinking, like, what kind of helped Ethereum go from, a couple $100s to a couple $1,000s was the ICO money. It did diversify the liquidity for Ethereum. It diversified the market cap, but it was all under the same umbrella. When those ICOs eventually 99% rug pulled, all the money went back into Ethereum where the foundational layer was. When I kind of started looking at Solana and I'm like, why is it undervalued? Oh, it's the same thing that happened to Ethereum. The market cap's diluted and diversified through these meme coins. Inevitable rug pulls will occur. They will rug the meme coin community by 99.9%. And then all that's going into Solana, it will go from 200 to 2,000 to 4,000 probably within 30 to 60 days.
Exactly. You see, you read my mind, and so we realize, and I've always been a historical pattern trader, right? So I'm a big fan of candlestick charts and all of the great stuff. But there's a little bit thing that is different when you start trading crypto, and that means you have to really sit back and pay attention to the ebbs and flows of the people, right? You have to be more a student of people and less a student of the markets and less a student of the tokens up and down behavior and more of the people behavior. And you hit the head right. You hit the nail right on the head. The rugs. We're just waiting for the rugs to come and start filling the coffers of Solana. And that's all it's going to do.
Oh, we jumped right into the middle of this, man. Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? Let them know a little bit about, who you are, maybe how you got into crypto and what you're doing at Band Royalty now. Oh, you're muted. You got muted.
I got my band royalty sweater on now.
I like the
And,
logo. I don't want to interrupt, but I like the logo.
Good. It took us a while. This is like the 4th iteration in 3 years. And I think
It's
we
good.
finally hit on it.
That's a good one,
Thank
man.
you.
I'll
I
give it to you.
appreciate it.
It's minimalist and
All right.
memorable.
Thank you. That's what we were shooting for. My name's Noble Dracone. I'm one of the co-founders of Band Royalty. And our goal is just to make music industry, the music industry particularly, do more for fans and musicians. And right now it's just failing on all fronts. Streaming fails, nobody makes money. Web3 musicians are grinding hard but really can't find oxygen from Bay Major people. You have things like fractionalization, which is really like the death of music, not the birth of music. You've got AI. There's just so much stuff going wrong in this next iteration of music that I kind of had to do something a little bit different 3 years ago and really focus on the real world aspect of music, which was the royalties. And using the royalties as kind of the backbone of our project, and use the royalties as the backbone gateway to show people that, yeah, you can own pieces of A-list artists. You can own parts of major songs, but don't do it alone. Do it as an aggregate, because the benefit is when we own a catalog together, and then we exploit that catalog and put it on TV, or we put it in movies, or we sync it for microtransactions and micro influencers. Right. There's more done better together. Don't fractionalize the music and then do nothing with it, hoping you're going to do well. My experience, I hate to date myself, but I got involved in the trading industry when I was 17. I got my license as a commodities broker when I was 19. And I wrote 7 books on trading futures, options, and Forex. Wrote articles for Forbes, Investopedia, been on Market Watch, Bloomberg, etc. And, I looked around, and I'm kind of an old school hacker. So I grew up on the Anarchist Cookbook. I grew up on, hacking and BBSs and all that stuff. So again, like I said, I'm dating myself. So when the internet started to evolve and grow, we all thought it was going to be freedom of information. We didn't realize it was freedom of commercialization, right? And so it just became another opportunity to steal our data, to abuse the technology to a point of where it doesn't look anything like where we all had kind of grown up to pretend it to be, and the information became all disinformation. So it was like 1984 on steroids. So when, I don't know, about 7 years ago, when CryptoKitties came out and started clogging up Ethereum, remember? I
was there for that. I was there.
Exactly. So was I. So in 2017, I'm like, wait a minute, there's something here, right? The people want to do stuff, and there's more technology coming. And so I filed a patent merging augmented reality, tokenization, NFTs at that time. And we started some successful Kickstarters, and my buddy turned around and said, hey, don't you do music royalties? Don't you buy them? And nobody cares about it. And then NBA Top Shots came out, and people spent off of video files $200 million overnight. And we're like, okay, there might be space for us creating a legitimate online music label that lets people tap into music royalties. And it has been a journey, right? We sold a few $1 million worth of our NFTs early on. We sold some tokens, and then a crypto winter hit. And while most of the projects rug, because we actually had music royalties coming in, we're actually able to pay for all of our server costs, pay for our developers, pay for our programmers, and sustain ourselves during the winter.
So you set the business up for passive income in a winter.
Exactly. And it wasn't, I didn't expect it to be the winter, right? We just were doing it because that was the core thesis of our project. Buy music royalties.
Just imagine where you would have been without a winter, bro. Whoa.
Oh, we are here now, right? So we just acquired a 44,000 out live performance music catalog that we're about to bring to the blockchain. You guys are really the first learning about it. And it's 3,000 albums of 500 of the largest artists over the last 40 years. There's live performances from Eric Clapton. There's Jimi Hendrix last live performances from Prince, multiple performances from Rolling Stones, Nirvana, etc. So right now I'm taking a whole entire, sidestep to make sure that everything we acquired, we can do what we say we want to do. And once we get proof of that over the next, 60 days, we're going to explode. And we're going to start really doing all the announcements, doing all the shows. So realistically, you guys heard it first here, to be honest.
I appreciate that, man.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Heard it here first. So this is the alpha. I'm dead serious. This is the alpha. The second alpha that we created is that we're going to be the first blockchain performance rights organization. So we have set up the software that allows us to be a publisher, a music publisher, and administrator of record for anybody who comes on board. That means that if you bring your music to us, we can help you get it on TV shows. We can help you get it anywhere. And we have some strong strategic relationships. I'm not going to get deep into them right now as we start doing the announcements, but they're with major enterprises and major companies and major developers. We also are integrating software that allows us to audit all the DSPs so that if Miggy or Ken, if you guys have music and you feel like for some reason you're not getting paid everything because everything is slightly, that someone miswrote the name or someone covers you and didn't pay you or whatever, well, we are going to go ahead and audit for the people who have those registered as a publisher or administrator. On typical, people get about another 15 to 20% of income just doing the audit because the DSPs are underpaying. And the way, the system is so, I won't say it the way I really want to say it because, it is a judgment call. But I say the system is really rigged against individual performers because you have places like Clear Channel or major radio stations, they'll hand one of the current PROs a list of all the music played. And if 25% of the music was played was Taylor Swift, regardless of whether or not that's really true in every bar and every place that performance was, they just give Taylor Swift 25% of all the money. So Miggy, who may have actually earned $100, only gets $75 because they just haircut him.
No.
Yeah. And so it's a $42 billion industry. Barely 11% of the money ever gets to all the musicians, the producers, the writers, the work for hires, etc. The rest of it goes to suits. It doesn't make sense in a digital world, right? And so part of that is transparency. Part of that is taking the data and putting it where it needs to be. And so we're gonna do some fun stuff and put the music business on chain. That's really what it is all about. Then there's cool things we can go from there. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what though? I want to put this on the listeners, radar. This isn't anything new or anything to do with blockchain or anything to do with Web3. This is something that people have been doing since the beginning of music or entertainment to begin with. I think the first time I heard about the concept of like owning somebody since like Lincoln type shit was Shaq. Mm-hmm. Shaq went around buying likenesses and brand royalties, people's identities. It was absolutely mind-blowing. He's like, you know who owns like Madonna or Marilyn Monroe? Do you know who owns? Exactly. It's him. Shaq owns these people's like identities, and I think Michael Jackson, he's pretty popular for trolling Sony. You know what I mean? And other musicians.
No. Let's reverse. Let's reverse this. Let's be honest. It was Sony that trolled Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson learned about buying royalties from Paul McCartney, and they were supposed to go in together to buy the upcoming royalties from the old Beatles catalog. Michael Jackson scooped it up from underneath him, and they went on a buying spree. Sony really didn't understand music royalties until they came to Michael Jackson and said, okay, we'll invest in half your catalog. And they gave him a few $100 million. From there, that whole catalog became billions. And Sony, time and time again, came back and bought up more of the catalog that Michael Jackson built. So it was actually the reverse. And right now, they're trying to give his estate another $1 billion to buy the music that Michael Jackson has. And the estate, after they already bought his other half of the catalog for $1 billion.
Ain't that some shit?
Ain't that some shit, man?
So what this isn't new. That's what I want to say though. It isn't new. There's a lot of, and there's better ways to do this. In my opinion, when I heard those stories, what I related it to was like the Eiffel Tower being bought and sold multiple times for like real big boy money. It wasn't just like an email. There were paperwork, meetings, lawyers in a building on the 5th floor looking out the window. They sold the Eiffel Tower twice. Like, this is what's kind of going to happen with these musicians' contracts and their catalogs as we progress forward. You don't know if you're really going to own a piece of their catalog though, but now I will with you, yeah. But before this, I didn't know.
That's what's happening now. Yeah, but that's what they've been doing now. Like when I learned about I got my first music deal back in 1998, 1999, and it was with a group called Private Eye Mercury. And if you do your research, Private Eye Mercury, which eventually became Bungalow Universal, was started by Joe Isgro. He's the one who financed the movie Hoffa. So you draw your own conclusions. He's who I actually learned the music royalty business from and how it operates and functions. And come on, Ken, you got it right. They trade music royalties back and forth like baseball cards. And they say, here's the percentage. This is what you can earn. This is how you can juice it more. We can cut it up, chop it up this way. And it's been happening forever. The problem is blockchain can make it transparent. Right now, it's in the background, and it's these backroom deals, and it's a black box where no one really understands where the royalties are coming from, how much they're going to get. And on average, if you're just a regular Joe who makes music and you're trying to figure out how you're going to get paid, your first song may not even put money in your pocket for another 9 to 12 months.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, you may not get money for every quarter. So why is there not a true music DeFi product? Well, there's no transparency in data. And so our goal is to first start off with transparency in data, give you guys an opportunity to hang and roll with us. And then as it grows, we head straight to DeFi. So there's some really awesome things on the horizon that we're pushing.
Yeah, man. So let me get some shout outs to the people in the chat real quick. We have Blockchain Wayne, who's out here in the Facebook chat. He was kind of back in the SEC talk, but you know, he's a big friend of ours, and you know, love having him around. Always a good guy to talk to. And in the YouTube chat, we got Steve and Anthony. Anthony says, talking about Prince trying to change the industry.
Yes. The name into a symbol wasn't just a gimmick; it was a genius move when it came to legality.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
SoundSound's doing some pretty cool music stuff with their hardware, so they found a way to decentralize that stuff. But you got to go one step beyond. You got to take the 2D world and put it into 3D. That's what it is, and that everyone is doing. No one's really done it the way that we're doing it, and it's just that's just the fact of it. And it's because I'm multidisciplined, right? I've been in the music industry almost 30 years. I've had a brokerage firm for 30 years. I trade tokens. I get it, and I get what we need, and I just come from a hacker's perspective that, you know, no matter what, we can figure it out.
What separates oh, go ahead, man.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna ask what actually like brought you into blockchain. Like, what was it that made you realize like, hey, this is the technology that's gonna be perfect for what you know I'm trying to fix?
It was very specific. I read a Wired article of the first event that happened in Colorado where everyone got together for Bitcoin. Nice. And when I read the article, I said, this is the future. I went out, I bought about 10 Bitcoin. And it was like a shady ass deal, guys. It was like
was there any other way to get 10 Bitcoin?
No, right. There wasn't, because I had to meet the guy in person. You remember the website where you had to go meet in person?
Local Bitcoins.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was my bread and butter, man.
Exactly. So I'm buying it on thumb drives. I bought 10 for $3. It was like $336 at the time for Bitcoin. And I'm like, oh man, they're like, I'm hoping the drive is correct and we can steal the private keys. And I'm still trying to figure this all out. And I wrote it up to, 1,800 and some change. And I'm like, okay, and mind you, I'm a trader, right? So I'm making all my money from trading gold and futures and options. So this was an experiment for me. So when I saw the price of Bitcoin hit $1,800, I'm like, no one is ever going to believe this digital currency has more value than gold. So I sold all my Bitcoin. I cashed out at a 6x, right? I'm like, you know, you
still respectable.
Yeah, absolutely. Because at the next time it came down, it dropped to 900. Right. So I'm like, okay, you know, it dropped to 900. And at the time, I didn't understand the patterning. So I ignored it. I'm making money in trading. And my buddy calls me up and goes, hey, have you ever heard of Bitcoin? I'm like, man, I've been there, done that. He goes, it's $9,000. I'm like, $9,000. And at that point, I got into Bitcoin mining. And I said, okay, I'm not going to let it roll past me the same way that it did last time. And at that point, it kind of stuck. There's always still a use case utility issue, but I've been a Bitcoin maxi since the beginning. That's why if you look at my Twitter, I still got blue eyes. I really believe that at the end of the day, just like I believe Sol is the Ethereum killer to bring it all circular, Bitcoin has become the gold killer. You know, gold is finally up over $2,000, but adjusted for inflation, is still less valuable than it was in the 80s. People just don't want to sit around and staring at their gold doing a Scrooge McDuck swimming in coins. Mm-hmm. They want to be able to have their assets in a way that is easily movable, easily convertible, non-trackable. You can cross borders with it without anybody finding out what your true wealth is, and you can just be who you are. Gold doesn't allow for that type of movement. So at the end of the day, you know, when we're talking all the different scenarios, doomsday or otherwise, Bitcoin is one. I mean, it's obvious because JP Morgan is all in, BlackRock is all in. Everyone in the institution who to our faces claim that.
Are you saying Bitcoin's been institutionalized? Is that what I just heard?
Let's rewind. Bitcoin has always been institutionalized. How about that? Right? Because remember, Bitcoin futures came out first, and I'm a futures trader.
I like this guy, dude.
So that Bitcoin futures has been traded for what, almost 7 years.
Paper
before we had
Bitcoin?
the
You mean
ETF.
paper Bitcoin?
Mhm.
No, Bitcoin futures. Come on, it's the future of Bitcoin.
Yeah, when I
And
saw
that's
that,
been
dude, I was so happy because, like, I just started looking into what is money, what is gold, why is it an investable asset, and all this. And then I came across futures and the term paper gold, and then Bitcoin did it. I'm like, oh, I see what you're up to.
exactly. It laid the foundation. So the
ETF
ETFs,
was inevitable after that, homie. Come on,
inevitable,
inevitable.
exactly, because you need an opportunity to create a spread.
Yup.
You need to have the spot and you have the
If there's
futures.
no
Now you can
arbitrage,
manipulate
who
the
wants to
market.
play here, bro? Who wants to play?
Exactly. You got it. And so the whole thing has been set up from the beginning.
Yep.
They just needed to have
Big
a way
facts.
to get enough people to jeet. And enough people jeet, you can actually move the balance sheet from the left to the right. And everybody who's been at the beginning, they go ahead and pull it. They do their best to, come on, this last wave of witch hunts, let's be sincere. The SEC, the SFA, the UK regulatory body, it was just a straight witch hunt in order to do a shakeout so that they could move all the money from the balance sheets of all these upstarts to the established communities. I mean, it's an ABC move. And when we saw the U.S. government start moving Bitcoin to Coinbase, we realized the horse that they're betting on,
Yep.
right? So they're betting on USDC, right? Because Coinbase is an expression of USDC. It's all anyway. I'm not going to get all.
No,
deep into
I don't want to
trading.
interrupt, but I do want to keep it on track. I guess I
I'm
wanted
sorry.
to.
I just look at it all and it's connected, man.
I want to put on like my devil's advocate hat and argue a little bit, like sort of, as the trader, as an investor's perspective, what's stopping something from Spotify, doing a pivot and kind of looking at what you're doing and follow suit? Or do you think like we're stuck in a perpetual Tower Records, Blockbuster, they're too stuck in their ways? That's personally my opinion, but I know people listening may say, well, I'm just going to wait for Spotify to have a token, or I'm going to wait for SoundCloud to have a token. And like you said, there's no transparency. I genuinely don't believe they'll go that route, but just for the sake of that conversation, where do you see that sets you different from SoundCloud or Spotify, and how, they will, if they did come into Web3, what would keep you different?
So Spotify did try Web3, it backfired, and their answer to that backfire was anybody who has less than X number of plays, we're not going to pay them, and they pull money back on the balance sheet. They don't really understand the power of Web3, just like many of these companies don't. And on top of that, it's bloat, right? Nobody, when you're in one of these corporations, it's really hard to be nimble and have ingenuity without fear of losing your job. So at the end of the day, you let somebody else build it and you look to buy. That's been Google's playbook. That's Microsoft's playbook. And to be frank with you, I really suspect that'll be anybody else's playbook who sees what we're building. We just hope that we get a chance to complete a lot of the foundational work that I've been putting in place. And I don't have a problem with selling. So that doesn't really bother me in that respect. So I agree. I hope that they do it. It benefits them not to be honest.
I guess like walk me through what the process would be for a band if they wanted to get involved in band royalties. So what's that initiational process? Can you be synonymous? Do you have to dox your identity? Do you have to link bank account? I'm just curious, what's the process for a musician? Because when it comes to Web3, I think a lot of them, especially musicians moving forward, seeing the way fame and being famous and just being in the public eye has affected people like Justin Bieber, and maybe I think only like Snoop Dogg's made it out unscathed of the whole music industry. People I think moving forward are going to want to make synonymous or anonymous, like DJs like Deadmau5 and Marshmello, stuff like that. How can artists in Web3 that are like chicken avatars get involved in band royalties?
Well, at the end of the day, they're going to have to do some doxing in order to be appropriately attributed, right? But that just comes down to how you do your metadata. And if your metadata is consistent, so if you're Deadmau5 on everything, and then we kick it to whatever payments to your wallet, then of course you're not doxed in that respect. But if you want to be able to get your 1099 or for whatever reason, then yeah, you might do it. For us, the first level is know what your true royalties are. So when people, in about a month to 6 weeks, people are going to register with us, the music that they have, and then we're going to start tracking it down for them, and then we're just going to exploit it for them. So when they make us publisher of record or they hire us as the administrator, we'll go ahead and start taking care of the work they really just don't want to do. And when we cross that bridge, we'll be able to give people a chance to be doxxed or not doxxed. The goal is really the music and finding out where that music plays and how much money they're owed, if owed anything. And if they're owed something, for us to go after it and get it for them.
Awesome.
Now, on the other end, for the fans, how does that work for them? The ones that get involved, especially with what you guys have with the NFTs, tokens, and stuff like that. Like, what did
So,
they receive out of it?
all right. So this is the part that really comes for the DeFi heads out there. We created a three-part token system, right? So the first token is the social token, the royalty token, which we haven't released yet. That's going to be the currency of our website when people want to buy music, buy into music royalties, swap, trade, etc. What we did initially is we created a limited series of NFTs. They were 1 ETH, and at the time, ETH was $1,500. And when you stake that, you get a governance token that is one of 10. Basically, it's only 10 million governance tokens total, and you get to share and get dripped out some of the 10 million governance tokens based on the NFT that you've staked with us. Based on our assessment, the value of the governance tokens will be far greater than the social tokens, which are 300 million. And the governance tokens will let you do a lot of the stuff that you're thinking about, right? So vote on new musicians we want to bring onto that platform, give people a chance to get voted to be featured on the first page, voting on how we distribute or maybe do DeFi and do loans to particular musicians based on the music they have. And a lot of that can only happen once we are publisher or administrator of record to get transparency on the data and be first on scene for the data to be able to share with the community. And that transparency allows those governance tokens to do a lot in making decisions on how we grow for both the fans and the musicians and the labels that come on board. So there's a lot of opportunity in that space. So most people who have been participating, they just buy the NFT, stake the NFT, and bit by bit on our staking platform, have the governance tokens drip to them. When we did the algorithm, all the governance tokens that are going to be metered out based on the NFTs will finish within the next 4 to 5 years or 4 to 6 years.
Okay.
So we're not doing a massive dump of governance tokens, but we're doing it so that the people who come in have a voice. And as long as you hold on the NFT and you're constantly generating governance tokens, at any time you can, once we start making pairs, you can start selling your governance token to earn money. Well, there's only a limited number of ways to get in the voting and into the ownership side of it. That's the NFT or the governance tokens. And so that gives you guys power for anybody who buys the NFTs early on. We sold about 1,500 of them almost.
Respect.
We
Congrats.
gave away some to advisors. Yeah, we gave away to some to advisors, and then we had the whole entire drop with the crypto winter. So we paused, I reset, and now we're going to do a equity NFT play in Switzerland over the next 6 weeks, where we're going to start pushing into the Swiss and the European market. There are NFTs still available on our website, but once we start really going all out with the Swiss group, our Swiss broker dealer, we're going to kind of shut everything off. Again, the alpha, you guys are getting early information.
I appreciate it.
Shut everything off.
Yeah.
We're going to shut everything off. Nobody's going to be able to get any more of the current NFTs. And the next series of NFTs that we put out will be at half. We'll earn half the number of governance tokens than the first series that is out. And there's a total of 4 series that will be released over time. And so and again, we're just doing straight like Bitcoin halving. Every time we release the next series, it'll be cut in half from the last.
That's respectable. That's how you provide value to the earlier participants. You make room for value on the next move.
And so it'll end at a total of 12,000 governance style NFTs. Right now, we still have some left in the first 3,000, and then we're really headed completely global at that point. Like I said, we're going to Switzerland, then we're going straight to European Union, and at that point, I think the other 9,000 will just kind of blow through really quick. Especially now we have the music catalog. Now we will be listed as a publisher and administrator of record. And just understand, when we're listed as a publisher, we actually get paid first from whomever we're collecting the money from. We're listed as administrator, we get paid first. That allows us to provide liquidity behind the tokens, allows us to provide liquidity behind the NFTs when they swap, the whole nine. It gives us the strength of an economic system so that no rug can happen. The same way we survived the crypto winter is the same way we'll explode the project going forward, because the more music we have on the platform, the more liquidity we can provide behind the tokens and market make. So it's really a flywheel system.
It sounds intricate as, I mean, so I get, like, I don't want to break it, but I am curious, can it be broken, right? So when it comes to like decentralized governance, I do get a little concerned with, group thought or like consensus being the truth, because there are multiple moments in history where the majority of the people on planet Earth agreed on some fucked up shit. And if it was a decentralized consensus, we may be in a really fucked up world still because of it. It was because of the minority of people were saying this isn't right, and the minority became the majority after changing the ideologies of what's right or wrong through the masses. When it comes to like decentralized governance, especially when it comes to like music or entertainment, something where I can gamify incentives for bad actors, how do you prevent the governance from voting in something not just bad like Rebecca Black, It's Friday, to be like 4chan funny, or like sending Wiz Khalifa to Alaska to perform a concert, but like I could, unfortunately, the way we see the 4chan community getting involved with meme tokens, we've seen some pretty racial slur, derogatory tokens, religious deprecating tokens. Is there a form of censorship within band royalty to prevent that cognitive idea from voting on racist country songs to be on like the charting, billboards? I do worry because like the majority of people suck.
I will say this: I love country music. I'm gonna tell you, I love country music. Don't disparage country music, but I will say,
yeah, right.
Kane Brown. Shout out to Kane Brown right now. But I will tell you this: it is not 100% decentralized.
Good.
It is allowing them to have a voice, not a control.
Good.
We're still. I own governance tokens. I still own the majority of the core NFTs that allow us to vote, and we still have
better.
all of that in mandate. No, but we want a voice, right? The thing is, you have to, in this environment, no musician has a voice, no music label has a voice, no producer really has a voice unless they're really, Dr. Dre or somebody. And we just wanted to give people those chances to have a voice. It doesn't mean they have the only voice. It doesn't mean they have the controlling voice. We can definitely squash down anything that we don't like, to be honest. Good. But at the same time, we'll use it judiciously. It's not something that our goal is not to stop creativity. It's to allow people to express themselves. And I hate to say it, yeah, I started on the BBS systems, man. So 4chan is nothing new to me. Yes, it's been racist from the beginning, since back in the mid and late 90s. There's nothing really special about that.
Yeah, but now they're fucking monetizing it with this technology, and that's fucking blowing my mind, bro. I wasn't ready for it.
No, nobody was. But the thing is,
4chan
and so
was.
what, right? Well, but I mean, and so what? Like that part of monetization is for, we all know it. The people aping in, the memers who come following, the lemmings. The people who ape in and really follow that stuff are the ones who get rugged. Like, we don't even, it's kind of one of those self-fulfilling prophecies. It gets created, they get taken for a ride, they get abused, and they disappear, and then the same group comes up with the same thing, pulling the same group of people to get rugged again. So it's not the average, it's not the average guys. I mean, we can look at Ben, we can look at, come on, we look at all these guys who are doing it over and over again, playing the game, right? Doing the Pepes over and over again. It's all the same stuff, dude. But it's always hitting the same audience repeatedly. Yeah. That's without trying to be too like, yeah, it'll never happen. The way it's set up is it'll never happen.
Gotcha.
Right.
Well, I mean, I only ask this because we've been in, you have as well, so there's been so many ICO projects, and a lot of the reasons they don't exist today is they went too far decentralized. Everything was decentralized, and the DAOs that they created basically ate the tail. Like, they killed themselves. It was DAO suicide.
Oh yeah, well, look at
DAOicide.
DAOicide. I like that. I participated in the Julian Assange DAO that was a big cluster, right? That was ridiculous. I mean, there's real opportunity there.
Oh,
That
you
didn't
just said
exploit it on
something that
itself.
really made my brain tick, bro. Can we get a prediction market in band royalties so we can bet on who's going to be like a platinum artist 10 years from now?
Oh,
I want
nice.
a
That would be
prediction
dope.
market for
Yeah.
musicians.
That,
Because I would have
A
bet on
futures,
Justin Bieber day one. I would have bet on
a
Meek
futures
Mill.
market.
Meek Mill day one. Justin Bieber day one. Wiz Khalifa day one. I was there.
That's
hey, listen,
funny.
that's what I'm saying. So so that's the kind of stuff we can vote in the community. Say, hey, let's have a prediction. Like, I can't come up with all the ideas. I'm just trying to build a foundation where we can constantly have money rolling in to support the liquidity of our token, and that's buying royalties, supporting royalties, being an administrator. At that point, we can. The sky is the limit. Beyond that, because we can come up with all kind of micro ideas and
Yeah,
micro
that's true.
opportunities.
This
And
is
that
this
stuff
is
crazy.
I mean, basically what you're jumping into is an open-ended industry. It doesn't exist yet. You're kind of taking a legacy industry, but taking it into a way that, you know, when you say reinvent the wheel, when you look at a military tank, they did reinvent the wheel, and it's a friggin' tank
Boom.
track now, right? So I think
Right.
that's what Web3 is going to do to a lot of industries. When they say, "Oh, you're reinventing the industry," it's like, no, we're making it from wood into titanium. It's still a wheel. It's just made out of
Exactly.
better
It's
stuff.
still a wheel.
Yeah,
Exactly,
that's funny.
and that's the crux of it, guys. And so I love that idea. I love predictive models, using the royalty token for that. I love us giving loans to musicians, right?
Oh, dude,
You know,
that
once
would be
we all
so
know,
nice. Like, I would have rent a
I
venue
love
to host a conference, and instead of having to,
Exactly.
like, you know, go on a date with P. Diddy, I could just reach out to my community.
Oh, dude, and then
Correct.
safety net, right? There's no true safety net for musicians.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
All
there's
musicians go on the corner and job,
none. Yeah.
like right.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of things.
A lot
that
of
we
one-hit
can do
wonders are
on
working at
this.
Walmart right now.
Well, there's a lot of, my family's been in the one part of my family's been jazz musicians since the 1850s. And Charlie Gabriel, my cousin, will be 92. He put out his last album when he was 89, called 89. And he has not collected all the royalties he's deserved for the last 80 something years since he's been playing professionally since he was 13.
Wow.
He's owed way more money than he's ever collected. And there's no way for him to be able to really recoup or gain or get all that back the way he should. We're going to try and help him when we put him on the platform. But the reality is there's more people like Charlie out there in all genres than there are people like Justin Bieber who were basically handpicked, handheld, and then protected the entire time, right? There's more music exploitation than there is music celebration. So for me, the idea is that when we create a solid foundation, there's a lot we can do to help and protect everybody. And there's a lot of things that are going to come up. I know Miggy's going to be like, oh, you said 4chan would not take control, all kind
Yeah.
of stuff. But let's build it to that point where these are issues we have to manage, right? As opposed to fighting something that we have to do, right? It's no
Yeah.
longer should we do it. It's something that we have to do. And we have to let the fans and the musicians finally interact on a platform that allows them to make decisions on each other's fate.
I remember when that was supposed to be MySpace.
Right. So how does that work? Also, whenever you have artists collaborate on songs or like have somebody
call.
who does like a feature on some music, is that something that you guys like work into the contract, or is that just something that kind of?
No, we work it all into the contract. And what happens is just like in trading, you get a run sheet. Like when a song is done, you're supposed to get basically a run sheet of all the producers, all the writers, all the performers, and then their particular ASCAP number or BMI number. And then when you register that song, when it's searched out and like we're about to do, go look it up and audit it, that money in the proportion listed on the contract goes directly to them. That's all done by hand now. That's the reason why there's so much bleed.
Right.
And so if let's say your name is Miggy with Miggy, and for whatever reason, the typo was Migy, you're not going to get your royalties. Or who is
Right.
Miggy with 3 Gs, or who is Miggy with Miggie. And you're like, wait, dude, I feel like my royalties are light, but you can't prove it. Well, you come to us, we thumbprint the music. We go, wait a minute, this Miggy with GIE is the same as Miggy with a Y. Let's go ahead and collect his royalties.
Yeah.
But all that stuff is done now by hand with AI involved, but it's still in a black box format. It's not then
Right.
fed back into the blockchain that says, hey, all of these editions and renditions of Miggy show up right now on Solana, right? And this is Miggy's contract, and every time Miggy performed or put music out, it's fed right back into his own contract that was listed, and then by Oracle, we pull it out. So there's ways to do
wow.
it that can be done, but it's labor intensive in the beginning, and it's work that, to your point, like, yeah, Spotify could do it. They don't want to do it. Nobody wants to
Right.
do the work.
Yeah.
Nobody
No.
wants to do the
They
initial
probably
work
don't
to
even have
kind
the
of knock
people
it
who
out.
can do it.
You know what,
Boom.
Right.
Miggy, you made me think of an interesting question and talk about like some people don't want to do the work. What about something along the lines of bounties for collaborations? You know, the world wants a Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj song so bad. I don't care how much they don't like each other. That single would literally break Michael Jackson level records. So how do I
Mhm.
put a bounty out and we all contribute, and when they do the collab, they actually get the treasure chest full of whatever the bounty is?
Well, see, this is my problem talking to people like you guys. You guys are already reading my mind. This is what I'm. This is the point of the tokenization. We believe our social token royalty will be the token of music, right? So if you guys who are sitting there, you're holding on to royalty tokens, and you make quote unquote a fund to make this happen, who in their right mind, if the token is going crazy, is not going to come and collect the bounty? But this is why we're making the token, and
Okay.
then if they register that song on band royalty, and we're doing the publishing and the administration, we can give them an advance on the song. And on top of that, not only give them an advance on the song, we could turn around and then administer the song and make sure they collect every dime that belongs to them. And then the community as a whole, if you own governance tokens, benefits from that because we
Yes.
are the ones who earn the income from it. So you see, it ends up being a massive cyclical component day one. And so, yeah, absolutely, that you hit the nail on the head. That's why the royalty
That's
token
awesome.
exists, to make that kind of stuff happen.
Yeah, man, that's
So,
what we need in the music industry. Honestly, in my opinion, money's cool and all, but forget the money. The engagement, the encouragement, the incentive, whatever the word, the community just wants this more than we want peace on earth. And how do we get that to the artist? Like, so
exactly.
they see, hey, this isn't just like, something I can do and maybe it'll have, like, it's already successful before I did it, so I just have to do it.
Yeah, we sell the album. In fact,
Yeah.
we can actually pre-sell the album. Everybody who supports it automatically gets the first limited mint edition of the album. Right? There's so many cool things we can do on blockchain that you cannot do currently. You can do it. Nobody's trying to do it. Right? It's just
You know who would
we
be
can
a
all
great
go
poster
do
child
funny
for
things.
you? Like the great marketing, like you guys should be going for Little Dicky. Little
Yeah,
Dicky,
for real, right.
save that money.
Yeah.
Save that chain. Oh, that's funny.
I could see
I
him
love it.
I could see him doing it in the metaverse where he's just walking around asking to borrow NFTs so he can make like NFT art stuff. Like save that money.
That's so funny.
I love it. I love it.
Since
Yeah.
we're on the topic of the governance token and stuff, I saw on the roadmap that you guys just got to the milestone for the staking pools. Talk a little bit about the staking pools and what those are about and kind of how that works, if you can.
Yeah. All that stuff is being scrapped a little bit heading into this level two, because originally we were going to buy different music royalties that hit different points. And so the new milestones that are going to about to pop up, they're not happening until probably May 15th. And then we'll have all the new milestones that incorporate a lot of stuff that I talked to you today about. Like in the early milestones, we weren't talking about being a publisher, not talking about being an administrator, not leading on the horizon as a potential blockchain PRO. Like all that alpha I'm giving to you guys right now. And then when it's going to show up on the milestones over the next, like I said, 2 or 3 weeks after we start kicking off our launch of raising capital from the equity markets. So things are a little bit different because, as we know, projects and business plans are meant to evolve based on the new information you have. And the new information is that we didn't want to collapse the project, and we had no intention of ever rugging our founders and our initial people. And so we had to figure out a way to make the business grow, expand, and just be more robust than just we go out and buy music catalogs and you guys share in the income, because that's kind of a dead end in and of itself. The goal is really to build a business that allows all of us, like you said, to do some of these highly innovative things. And that's why we have the 3 token system. And once all the NFTs are gone, nobody will be able to earn governance tokens, because the only way to get governance tokens is if they buy it directly from the people who are basically minting them through their NFTs, or if they have an NFT. That's it. We're not handing out governance tokens. And so once we announce that you can buy royalty tokens, that's the only way to leap into the platform. And then we can start doing a lot of the fun stuff we're talking about: prediction, betting on new artists, giving loans, all that other kind of stuff. But that's all going to be based on having a real world asset, which is real publishing income, real administration, real royalties behind the whole entire ecosystem. And as we grow from the initial 56 song catalog that we bought with Justin Timberlake on it and Timbaland and some songs from Rihanna, we collect as part of the performance royalties from those. But now we're about to explode in such a bigger way as we go into this new phase too. And so I think it was a good thing that the crypto winter happened, because it let me go back to the lab and think a lot deeper on this project and really what I wanted to do and what I wanted to see. So, would you guys ever have me back on?
Absolutely. I was just going to say.
For sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, we barely,
Yeah.
I feel like we only talked about half of the things I want to touch
Yeah.
on, and we got to wrap it up, but
There's still a lot. Yeah, because we were just talking
So
about
much.
this the other day about fractionalization, how it doesn't really work at a basic level. No, when you're just
Nope.
dividing up the value of
Boo.
something, and then we're going to share the profit margins of what, that value may, increase to. Or whatever.
fractionalized donuts, bro.
It's like, I did that. Yeah, that
They
worked.
don't taste that good, man.
The donut thing
donuts
worked.
don't taste.
Well, I decentralized the donut. But
Okay.
it did work. Yeah.
He
because we'll take
he
different topics.
physically did it at a conference and had multiple people contribute to a very expensive donut.
Yeah, I sold
Yeah,
a
but that
$9
donut-
donut for $18, and everybody who bought a donut NFT will get a piece of this donut when I see them. Or now it's changed to getting a donut, because like you said, projects have to evolve and adapt.
Well,
Yeah,
and that's the thing. People
that's
may.
an inflation, though, dude. That's an inflation.
I told you I like this guy,
So
bro.
I'll tell you the story. I'll tell you the story real quick. So we were in Miami and at this conference, and I was buying these $9 donuts at the hotel. Really heavy, really delicious. And I was like, you know what? What if I decentralize this donut? I break it up into pieces, and I sell these pieces for $2. I bet you I could sell out. And funny enough, I had some people ask me like, hey, if you give me a piece of that donut, I'll buy it from you. So I ended up making like 9 NFTs, I think, and like 9 pieces, and sold them for $2 of Matic each. And the idea was that if you bought it at the conference, when it sold out, everybody that bought that NFT, I would buy a donut with it, divide it up into 9 pieces, and divvy it out to everyone, and then buy 2 more donuts with that money and do it
The
again.
dude genuinely has
That
a
sounds-
community around this, just like that.
I love it. I love it. But it sure sounds like a Ponzi scheme to me.
It-
At some point, you
It's a Ponzi scheme you can eat. I
It's
have
a
a
Ponzi
donut
scheme
holder,
you can eat.
but I had to change.
It's not
it, so now-
it's not a pyramid scheme. It's the food pyramid scheme.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
I have a whole. I was like, now it's changed. So if you're a holder of that donut NFT, when I see you at a conference or something, I'll give you a donut.
And that's where I
See,
think
now
the
that's
real.
inflationary. That's inflation. You
is
killed the
inflationary.
project.
But no, but
Oh
I
my
mean, but
gosh.
it's gamified proof of concept, where I feel like a lot of musicians are going to be doing very similar things with their communities, making it way more fun to come out to a conference or a concert. I mean,
Concert.
and when you talked
But
about
they
like,
should.
yeah,
They should, but the fractionalization is a failure.
yeah,
Right. And the fractionalization is a failure because of one core reason: mathematics. In the first 2 years of a song, first 2, maybe 3 years, is the maximum amount of income a song will make. After that, there's like a 50 to 70% cliff thereafter. And if it doesn't get into the evergreen status where it's constantly being played, you may never see more than a few $1,000s. Right. So at the end of the day, when you fractionalize the music, and if you're not working the music catalog to then place that music on TV or put it in a movie trailer or to get it just a diminishing asset, a diminishing return. At that point, it's a vanity play, and that's
Yeah.
cool. And
You're right.
and you say, hey, I got a piece of this Justin Bieber song, or I got this piece of, whomever. But the reality is, if it's not worked and the catalog's not promoted, that's it. You'll never make more than
Right.
5 cents, 10 cents, 50 cents, and I believe in the long run, that's going to have a massive backlash in these communities. It will not be a big benefit.
You know what, dude? I want to leave with one topic. We'll talk about this, and I'll let you go, and we're gonna have to get you back. But I'm curious. This opens up a very similar topic of conversation when it comes to like social credit scores and like going based on how much people like you, how much you're worth in society, how your value and all this. And I'm just curious, like, what is your like? Have you seen that perspective from what you're building, where it could be, people self-censoring and not being their true selves because they, can pretend to be this and make more money by not being a genuine person? Or on the other side, market manipulation through social credit score, where I early invested in your music, but I have a production company that puts music in movies. So now I only put your music in my movies, and I'm market manipulating the algorithm. Those two things I think we could leave on, but what? Like, I definitely want to get you back.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the last one I think is fun, and I think that's part of the gamification. I would love for someone who says, okay, I make movies, I love these 5 guys, because the community is going to benefit. Remember, we're the administrator, we're the publisher of record. The community is going to benefit regardless. So yeah, they can gamify it to an extent, but someone has to go down and truck all the money in Asia and Asia,
Right.
North America, South America, Central America, and that's going to be us. We'll be the administrator of record. The first one is a little bit more difficult, right? Because Clark Gable's name is not Clark Gable. Marilyn Monroe's name is not Marilyn Monroe. You know, it's been going on in perpetuity in the entertainment industry, where people's names are not the names that they were born with. Yeah. So it's people have always been creating personas in entertainment for whatever reason that may be.
I mean, everybody thinks Snoop Dogg's a drug addict and he's like running his son's little league game, and people were like, "Oh, I thought that dude was a deadbeat dad."
Exactly, right? So Dean Martin had a nose job, and his last name is Italian as you can get, but he became Dean Martin. You know,
oh shit, that's right.
We've been doing social credit forever, man. That's just how human beings function. We live in this world where, you know, what we want people to see us as is what we're going to try and get them to see us as, and that's why makeup exists, right? So I really can't fight the social credit score. It's going to have its own damaging effects. I just hope, and I think that if we're smart enough, we don't buy the illusion, right? The illusion is part of the fun, but the illusion is not the reality. And if we can, you know, realize that, then it's great. But the moment you mix up the two, like people's real, like you mentioned, real quick, Mickey, you mentioned MySpace. A lot of people's personal identities were locked in their MySpace accounts. They never recovered, man, when MySpace went down. A lot of those musicians, a lot of those people, you know, when the world passed by MySpace, they didn't know how to move on to the next phase of things. And so
they were stuck on vinyl when everybody was on 8-track.
Right. No, they got vinyls back, but you know, they had to wait a while. So I really, some of that stuff is outside my psychological purview, to be honest. I really don't care. You know, we've been battling it, we've been seeing it, and it's going to happen regardless of us, because human beings are human beings, and we've been doing the same crap for 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 years. Literally nothing's new under the sun.
Well, mechanics within platforms like yours, I think, can program human nature to be better within the DNA. You know what I mean? Like within our core level of who we are as a creature, I think technologies like this will implement better actors. And the bad actors, like we mentioned earlier, they're going to have their time to shine, but eventually they're going to burn out and non-exist, and that will be in all aspects of society. I truly believe that. The next time we get you on, we're talking metaverses and performances in the metaverse, because you mentioned all these physical,
so much.
You mentioned like North America, Europe, and Asia, but who's going to be watching the data for the metaverse performances and what those royalties are worth?
And that's us too.
Yeah,
that's us too. And then
I told you half of what I wanted to talk to you in an hour, bro. This has been amazing. Thank you, Noble. Shout out to Band Royalty.
Thank you. I apprate it. Sorry, guys, for being late. I really
next time you'll have to just be early. That's all.
Exactly. I'll be early. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks to the chat, everybody, for tuning in. Again, check out Asvoria, asvoria.io. That's the fam, and have a day.